responsibility for the violence, if there's any deaths, if there's any destruction to property that happens in the name of March and March in the name of the people that support it, because you've obviously punted their message.
Why is the South African government not taking the responsibility for allowing criminal elements to make South Africa their headquarters? Why, when South Africans raise an issue about illegal immigration, you want to call them vigilante? Do you follow developments in Tshwane? You see the Tshwane Metro Police every day how they arrest illegal foreigners.
Yeah, and also see Gareth Nisi all over the Madlanga Commission. I'm just saying that...
A few weeks ago in one of the press conferences, one of her biggest frustrations, they arrested these illegal foreigners. 3 days later, they're back in the streets.
So the illegal immigrants from wherever they come from, they must start running when you become mayor.
If they don't run, I'm going to make them run.
All right, let me go back to my palette.
When I took over as a mayor, the level of corruption coming onto my desk was just overwhelming. That's when I decided to form that unit of group forensic.
You regret bringing CBR?
No, listen.
Yeah.
No, listen.
I always say you can't manage. Monday.com shows you the full picture like that. Statuses, timelines, budgets, all in one clear dashboard. I used to waste way too much time trying to figure out where everything was. Files were here, updates were there, and meetings. I mean, so many meetings. Now that AI is basically baked into everything we do, I've got even more clarity. It shows me which projects actually align to our yearly goals, flags issues before they eat up time and budget. It's like having a built-in me in every project. It even recommends the right team members for each task. I know it sounds like you have to have a PhD to use AI, but with Monday.com, it couldn't be easier. I mean, hands down, I have no idea how I kept it all together before.
Start your free trial today at Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
Hey, I know that you are looking for a lead generation agency, and you might be thinking, how do I know this information? One thing I can promise you is I'm not tapping into your cell phone or stalking you. I just know how to find my dream customers like you. If you want to grow your business as quickly as possible in the next 90 days, what are your options as a business owner? Well, let's go through them. Your first option is to have a speech and get all your salespeople really pumped and motivated, get them burning the line and cold calling every single person under the sun. But this isn't very consistent and it's not scalable, and let's face it, nobody really likes receiving cold calls. Your second option is to listen to your neighbor or your friend's wife who just recently became a social media marketing expert. And she reckons the way to get more highly qualified leads is to post more on social media, get more exposure, and get more likes on your page. Come on, guys, this is absolute nonsense. Exposure and more likes are not going to help you pay your bills. Exposure and more likes are not going to help you hire better team members. And exposure and more likes are not going to help you grow your business as fast as you want it to. I know that you as a business owner, the only thing you care about is getting more highly qualified leads and making more profit. That is it. More highly qualified leads to make more profit. That is it. So if you're an established business owner and you want to cut through all of the fluff, excuse the sales pitch, but I feel like our lead generation system is for you. You see, once in place, our lead generation system will allow you to generate 50 to 200 highly qualified leads every single month with predictability, with a laser-targeted ad strategy. So if this sounds like something you might be interested in, I would like to make you an offer. I would like to invite you to hop on a free, no obligation, 60-minute Zoom strategy session where I'll show you exactly how our online lead generation system works, and I'll show you how you can grow your business as quick as possible in the next 90 days or less. And I'll say this again, this is a strictly no obligation Zoom call. There'll be no pushy sales tactics, and you'll not be forced into making a decision on this call. My sneaky intentions with this call is to provide you so much value that it's a no-brainer for you to sign with us as a client. And I'm so confident that you'll find so much value on this Zoom strategy call that if you feel like we wasted your time at the end of it, I'll give you 500 Rand for wasting your time, and you get to keep the strategy. The catch, unfortunately, this is only for established business owners, only for our dream clients, and unfortunately at this stage, no startups. So ask yourself, is any of these other agencies willing to put their money where their mouth is with a clear guarantee? And with that being said, if this is something that you're interested in, click on the link below. It'll take you to a landing page which has got all the information about our service. Once you're ready, click on the button, answer a couple of questions, and if you qualify, you'll be able to book a time with myself or one of my digital marketing specialists. I cannot wait to potentially meet you, and we cannot wait to make your brand future famous.
It's a Frank Dialogue podcast with me on Khopotse JJ Tabani. Tonight, our guest, Herman Mashaba, he is a mayor candidate of Johannesburg. He's a former mayor of Johannesburg, leader of Action SA. And of course, he says he's got unfinished business. That's why he's standing again to be mayor. And I'm going to be talking to him now. Thank you so much for always coming to our invitations, Herman.
No, thank you very much, JJ. I've not spoken to you in a while.
I know, I've been on sabbatical.
It's always robbers sometimes. So, okay, but I always enjoy it regardless.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. If guests don't come, we'll not have, these things happening. So thank you very much. But I've invited our friends, Herman. Dr. Mkhabela, right? You know him. He's a big analyst. He used to be my boss at Power. Professor Majola is a leadership expert, also a very serious commentator on leadership issues. Juanita Handa owns her own media now. He's been associated with anything from Newsroom Africa to Media 24, very robust. Mike Shem is our a podcast host of what is called State of the Nation. So because you and I have talked so many times, it's going to get boring if we just talk the two of us. So I've asked them to come and help me interrogate you today.
Wonderful.
In fact, I want to start with them quickly. Mkhabela, what's the one thing you've always wanted to ask Herman?
It's not something that I've always wanted to ask Mr. Mashaba, but very recently it's a question that has arisen in my mind.
Yeah.
Especially after he announced his mayoral candidacy for Johannesburg. As a leader of Action SA, Mr. Mashaba, the assumption is if you're a leader of a political party, you want to be president of the country. Now, you announced to be the mayor of Johannesburg. My question then is, are you demoting yourself from a presidential candidacy when the time comes in 2029? Or the assumption is that you'll be a mayor of Johannesburg for 2.5 years and then step aside and become president?
Interesting question. Prof. Majola, you'll answer later. Prof. Majola?
Yeah, I had the same question, but thanks that Dr. Mkhabela has asked already. In 2021, I think you contested only 6 municipalities, if I'm not mistaken, out of 278. How many are you going to do this time around? Are you covering all provinces, all municipalities? And secondly, there is this perception that we are running a one-man party. There hasn't been any elections. You are the one who appoints council people. What is the governance and the system that is used in terms of appointing and identifying people?
Okay, Juanita?
Get a Connect Advance for Airtini. Repay easily on our app within 30 days.
What do you really think of Donald Trump and Elon Musk? What do you truly, truly believe about their politics?
Mike?
Mr. Mashaba, we're living in an age of coalition politics. Do you not think it's time for parties to disclose before the election who their potential coalition partners are? so people can make an informed decision before they vote.
I just wanted to give you a taste of what's coming, right? Let's start with this one of coalitions. A lot of people, Herman, get worried when politicians, before the elections, they talk ill of another party, etc., or they are robust in discouraging people to vote for another party, the ANC or the DA or the EFF and what. And then post the elections, they find that their vote that they have given to you or whoever else, right, is used to prompt another party to end up in power. I hope you understand. So if you can just link up with what he's saying, what can we expect of Action SA in terms of this coming elections, in terms of how you will handle the issue where you don't get an outright majority?
Well, I think Action SA, we've been really very, very clear, and I think we want South Africans to know that we are not going to enter into any pre-coalition arrangements with any political party. Why? Because we've learned.
From the moonshot.
We learned that when in this political space, there's a lot of dishonesty. People say one thing and they do something else. For that reason, it's up to us as human beings to navigate the terrain. And right now, we embrace, as Action SA, we embrace coalition arrangements. However, we will only talk to political parties once the numbers are there, to see who we need and who we don't need. But we've got three conditions.
Okay.
On not any political party. Don't tell me about ANC or DO or anyone. We're not going to talk to anyone before elections. We will only talk the day when the numbers are there, when Action SA is needed or is not needed. In the event Action SA is needed, please invite us or we will invite you. Three non-negotiable conditions. The first one, when Herman Mashaba gets involved in corruption, don't cover for me.
Okay.
Because Herman Mashaba will never cover for you.
Okay.
So I'm sure you
So
you
corruption,
get it. Corruption is
enemy number one.
Secondly, when we're in government, we have a constitutional obligations to provide services to all residents, regardless whether they voted for us or not. So if you're a party that believes that you want to only provide services to your constituencies, please don't waste your time to come and talk to us, because there's going to be fight.
Okay.
So because for us as Action SA, we are a party for all. Given an opportunity to be in government, we are going to unapologetically provide services to all the communities, to all the residents of that municipality we co-govern with you. The last one, also very important. If you want to co-govern with Action SA, just know that undocumented illegal foreigners are not welcome in our municipalities. So let's not have the fight afterwards. Because if you want to co-govern with us, we have to really have policies that are going to deal with illegal undocumented foreign nationals, to national government and home affairs accountable. So these three
are your conditions.
They are. The other stuff we're happy to negotiate. So we will not negotiate with any.
So it's about those conditions and less about a particular party, because
no, it's got nothing to do with any party. As long as that party is happy to.
But there's nobody you are ruling out.
No.
So you don't rule out the DA. You can coalesce with the DA. If the DA gets...
Why shouldn't I work with the DA if our numbers make sense?
I see. So and then the ANC.
Why wouldn't I work with the ANC if the numbers?
So there's
make
no
sense?
party that you can't work with at all at the moment.
If the voters have decided this is how we want you to govern, and you take yourself to be a Democrat, then something is actually fundamentally wrong. Because you must understand, coalitions are not us. We contest. I work damn hard to make sure that I get out that majority. What are the chances? Chances are that we're going to be put into a coalition. So it is for that reason we have embraced.
I know, I'm sure you have gotten this question many times, and you may have answered it many times, right? Can you address us on the issue of working with the ANC specifically? Because that's why I was asking whether it has got to do with a particular party. Because we are clear that your mission is to unseat the ANC, right? And I assume that you still want to unseat them even at local government.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So you have you changed your position about cancelling out ever working with the ANC?
No, well, and you know, one thing I've learned, and I think we
Yeah.
take learnings
Yes.
because actually the voters are the ones ultimately who decide. I had actually made a pronouncement that I'll not work with the ANC, and the voters forced us. Oh, they said, hey, whether you like it or not, you're going to work with the ANC. Let me give you an example of Tshwane. After the 2021 local government elections, we got numbers to either put the ANC or DA into power. But because we were concerned as a party with ANC's corruption, and obviously I had issues with the DA regarding the treatment of the black constituency. But so we weighed the two options. Then we said, no, let's give our votes to the DA instead of the ANC. Unfortunately, DA continued with the arrogance and with literally in cases of Tshwane, where they literally refusing to provide the services to poor black communities. That's why we ended up having to remove them. But there was a challenge. It's on record when we took a decision to remove them from Tshwane because of the arrogance and refusal to provide services to black townships. Because of our numbers in Tshwane are such that there's a DA Freedom Front Plus grouping, and there's an ANC EFF grouping. Between the two of them, they can't form government without us.
Yeah.
So an opportunity presented itself when I couldn't take the abuse of the DA any longer. You know, I said I was abused.
So there's a better devil.
I was abused for 60 years. I was born in 1959, a year after H.F. Verwoerd took over power. So you can imagine from the day I was born. I was born during an evil man running this country until 1994, and I had hope on the ANC, and they betrayed us.
Okay.
And we tried, and obviously with Mmusi Maimane taking over the DA, I thought, you know, there's some changes. Unfortunately, there's no change. I talk from practical experience. So I just want to take you so that you understand the context of why we worked with the ANC. Because if we did not work with the ANC, the city of Tshwane was going to be put under administration, was going to collapse. So I'm a patriot. I love this country, and I think.
So the reality has shown you that you can work with all parties.
Otherwise, you're putting the country. I can't put the country at risk because of my hatred of someone. You find a way, and I found a way. I then said to the ANC guys, we are prepared we are removing. At that time, we were removing. We had taken a decision. We are removing the DA, but. We then said to the ANC, to make sure that this city doesn't go under administration, we're prepared to work with you, but we take Action SA takes over the leadership.
All right, let's put it this way. If the DA and the Action SA, let's say, get almost equal votes, 44 here, and you have to coalesce, right? You are saying that you are not ruling that out, right? Which means that you understand that citizens would like to see leaders like yourself and Helen working together.
Which citizens?
No, I'm saying the citizens of the city. I'm saying if they vote you that way, the assumption is that they want you to work together. Right?
Why don't you mention other political parties?
I'm coming to the
why special?
I'm coming to the ANC. I could have just talked to the ANC. Now I'm coming to the DA, right? And I'm trying to understand why, if your view is that you will work with all parties, right? You would not be able to sit across from Helen and debate what should be the vision.
Why must I debate with her before election? I'll talk to her once the numbers are out. Right now, honestly, I'm going to be wasting my time talking to someone that I know is going to.
So you'll never debate with her?
Or before the election?
Before the election.
No, you'll never see me.
But you'll debate. We can debate. Look on.
Anytime. be a pleasure.
And debate Masuku.
I'll debate with anyone.
Except
the thing is with
why?
Helen now, why I want
Yeah.
to debate with her, because she's a habitual liar. She lies with a straight face, and I don't have time for that. So you can imagine I have to keep reminding her about her lies and her deceit. She's a very unreliable person, and I don't think I need to really waste my time.
Yeah.
I've
If she
got more important things to do than sit here with you. I'd rather be in an exam
Campaigning
now,
in elections,
campaigning and wasting my time debating with
But
Helen.
if she ends up being mayor, will you be able to work under her? Let's say she makes you an MMC of public safety or something, where you
I
must
think,
report to her.
I'm not a professor. This is.
Even a prophet.
I'm not in a classroom, a professor giving me an academic question. So I left the university many years ago. So I deal with practicality. So let's deal with practicality.
When it happens.
And that's why I've said to you, we will talk to
All
you.
right,
that,
let's deal with practicality on migration. What are you going to do? And please, as you are at it, comment about what is happening in the country right now. The country is seeming to be on the grip, right, of a crisis of migration. The 30th looming and upon us in a few days, right? What's your view about what is going on in terms of this migration crisis? Do you think the government is handling it well?
No, I think this government has been an total disaster. For them to dismiss the cries of South Africans. It actually, the other day, last week, during the June 16 event, I actually addressed some in the media that, what's happening right now with how our government is dismissing the pleas and the cries of South Africans reminds me of June 16. It reminds me of March 21, 1960. When our people had genuine issue to say, look, we don't want to carry dumb passes any longer. When our students were saying, we don't want Africans as a medium of instruction. This was genuine concerns.
Yeah.
So illegal, undocumented foreign
You think
nationals.
government doesn't take it serious?
No, absolutely, very far.
That's when they deported a lot of people this year.
They've not touched the surface because I don't know if, please get the stats from Stats SA. I listened to Statistics General a few weeks ago. Officially, we've got 3.1 million
documented,
undocumented.
How do they know that 3 million they are undocumented?
And these are the people who, when they were doing their study, who confirmed with them. Some of them refused. So in fact, I remember
it's a conservative number.
It's a conservative because some of the people we can't say they are not because they refuse to answer the question. So they can only. He says. Mr. Malu, is that Mr. Maluleko? Whatever. I listened to him being interviewed by one of the radio stations. Says, I can only give you facts of what we have in our books.
What they know.
These are people who confirmed with us that they are in South Africa illegally. 3.1. So others, unfortunately, they did not. So
because if they are illegal, assumably they won't confirm. So it means that that number is inaccurate. And it's less than the reality.
But he was saying, look, I deal with facts. But I can tell you that 3.1 million.
3.1 million.
And then,
let's go with that number.
This is the issue we've been addressing for many years. You remember when I was a mayor, on the 1st of December 2016, during my 100 days when I was giving the report back to South Africa, the silence on illegal immigration. Because all of you in the media criticized me, called me names, ANC even reported me to the South African Human Rights Commission. I refused to apologize, wanting me to apologize, because I was saying when we raid these buildings, we find 80% of the occupants being undocumented. And then we had this so-called human rights lawyers, so-called NGOs saying, no, Mashaba is exaggerating. I was giving facts because every time we raided a building, the police will...
But if you're in power, what would you do if you are given the stats of 3.1 million undocumented immigrants in the country?
Look at how crazy our government is, how insensitive this government is, how unpatriotic this government is. 2 days ago, I listened to the Minister of Police or deputy or whatever you call them, because we're so confused what's happening in our law enforcement agencies, saying their budget is 600 million rands to prepare for the 30th. My goodness. I said, can't these people actually put the 600 million rands to start the mass deportation? You know, they claim they don't have money, but they have money to prevent something that no South African has ever spoken about fighting. South Africans are saying violence. South Africans are merely asking to say, we've got our own challenges. 59 people are being murdered in South Africa every single day. South Africa, 12 million South Africans are unemployed. We've got the highest sustainable unemployment rate in the world. Every 5 minutes, a woman is raped in this country. So can't the world leave us alone to sort out our own mess? And the day, 50 years or so later, when unemployment is under 5%.
Why do you say what the world will leave us alone? You don't believe in an integrated ecosystem of the economy?
No, South Africa can't be an integrated. Why should South Africa be a test ground?
Is it a test ground? I mean, but South Africans do business everywhere else in the continent, isn't it? I mean, MTN and Standard Bank and ShopRite are all over the continent.
Are you confused, JJ? It looks like you're confused. You're talking about doing commercial interrelation business. But you're talking, and we were talking about about criminals. So there's the two businesses are totally separate.
You think your hands will be tied as mayor to deal with
No, they're not going to be. No, we're not.
What will you do? Tell me what you will do.
Within the Metro of Johannesburg, we are going to
chase away illegals.
We are going to arrest them, take them to Lindela or to Home Affairs offices every day. We find you, you undocumented. There'll be a special task force that is going to, because we don't have the authority.
Do you agree with March and March in terms of their strategy to bring the country to a standstill until this matter is sorted out? Do you agree with March and March?
I agree with that March. I've been to a few of their marches, but I've never heard of them saying that they want to bring the country to a standstill. The first time I'm hearing from you.
So on the 30th, that's what the police are saying. They're going to spend 600 million.
You know what? Even right now, coming here in the news, I listened to just in the main news about March and March. The 30th of June is not even their own issue. They were also invited. So I'm saying
invited by who? Do you know?
Ask.
Have you met March and March?
I've marched with them more than once.
So you agree with their strategy? Are you joining them on the 30th to March?
No, it's not. It's not called by this march. Well, as far as we know, I don't know who called this march because we were not invited.
But I'm going to bring my panel on this immigration.
But Action SA and me as Herman Mashaba. And unapologetic, 100% support South Africans that wants illegal
immigration out.
Illegal, documented, undocumented, and I take serious exceptions. When people talk about illegal immigration, they want to confine it to Africa. We're sitting. I can tell you right now, if you've got the time. In fact, this afternoon, when I leave here, I'm going to be in Polski. You're going to see the number of Pakistanis, Bangladeshis.
Who are from all over the world.
But when you clever people want to talk about illegal immigration, because you want to divert the attention, you think we are all fools. You take this to be an African problem. This is not an African problem. South Africa is the World Cup of crime. We've got undocumented people from the United States of America. I've got evidence. I presented it to Parliament on the 22nd of October 2019. We've got undocumented people from Australia, from the United Kingdom, from all over the world. That's why I presented a report to Parliament on the 22nd of October 2019
I want to bring
about South Africa being the World Cup of crime. But why all the time you want to talk about Africa? Because you want to divert our attention. You're not going to change the living experiences of people of Alexander or Soweto.
So the illegal immigrants from wherever they come from, they must start running when you become mayor.
If they don't run, I'm gonna make them run.
All right, let me go back to my panel. Dr. Mkhabela had asked you earlier and I want to just deal with that question before he comes in.
Can you repeat it again?
About that if you are standing for mayor, does it mean that you no longer want to be president in 2029?
Well, you know, I'm a practical man throughout my life. My life, you know, when I was born in 1959, when I went to university, I thought I went to go and study, become a lawyer. First week of orientation, I realized, no, following a legal profession is not the right. When I left university after the apartheid government shut down the university, I wanted to leave the country to go for military training. But God has always had another plan for me. And I ended up being a businessman, something that I never thought, because when I was studying at the university, I thought I was going to be a political scientist like you, because I was majoring in political science and public administration. That's why I like politics. I mean, political science. I'm a student of history and politics, you know. But I ended up being a capitalist and an unapologetic capitalist. Did I ever think afterwards that I'll go into politics? Never. Today, here I'm a politician. Did I ever one day think I'll one day form a political party? I mean, if you had asked me a few years ago, will I go into politics? Will I form a political party? Here am I, running a political party. The only politician in this country that I don't get paid for coming here doing this terrible job that I'm doing. My party can't afford to pay me, and I don't need me. My family is one of the big funders of this project. Did I ever think that would really happen? So I'm a practical man. I don't really work on what's written. I read a lot. The books help me to navigate the environment. So that decision that you are talking about, I will deal with it
when it comes.
When it comes. I'm a practical man. I don't work on the basis of what the professor says. The professors, I like reading about them, giving ideas, giving them their research work and so forth. But ultimately, I'm the one who must make up my mind based on prevailing circumstances.
Future is built by the trade today. 5 years ago, Brockstock was built to make investing local, reliable, and technology-driven. Brockstock, smart investing builds wealth.
The complete multi-device PDF solution.
A quick follow-up, JJ. You said we can follow up.
Yes.
Just on that score, don't you think that the residents of Johannesburg that you want to lead would like to know whether, if you are elected mayor, you'll stick it out for the term that you'd be elected for? On top of that, don't you think Action SA supporters, members, or whoever, also would like to know whether you'd be available in 2029? And people think ahead before they make their minds about politics, who they support and all of that. Don't you think all of this information people need to know up front?
Well, our decision as a party, it's actually informed by those concerns and fears that you have. Because, you know, and actually, when we were looking for the mayoral candidate for the city of Johannesburg, I did everything possible from the party not to stand, because I don't have age on my side. In a few months' time, in August, I'm turning 67, so I'm not a young man. I'm supposed to be at SASA offices right now. But unfortunately, we couldn't find anyone, and there was so much pressure coming from our internal structures.
What do you mean you couldn't find anybody? I tell him that in Johannesburg, there's not a person who can be mayor. If you're a mayor and you had decided to resign.
But I've just said this to you.
But why couldn't you find anybody?
Okay, find him for us. If you think we didn't do our job, you go and find them for us.
In a whole Action SA.
No, what I'm trying to say.
Why can't Funzingo stand as mayor?
So what I'm trying to say is, but if you're such an expert when finding people, go and find someone for us.
Yeah, this is a hopeless situation. Professor Majola, please answer his question about governance in Action SA. Maybe it's linked to this thing that we are asking.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
what
He says you have not gone, you've not been to Congress, to conference.
I think, I always prefer people, when you ask this question, to have read our interim constitution, because people just ask on the basis of headline news brought by people with other agendas. We actually say from day one, when our party was launched, we've got an interim constitution, and our interim constitution is so clear regarding having an elective conference. There's certain thresholds that we've got to make. We are only 5.5 years old political party. We cannot go to an elective conference when we don't have structures on the ground. And we cannot go to a pre-elective conference when we are facing elections. It is clear in black and white, supported by paid up members of Action SA. So normally this question is asked by people who don't read our our constitution. They operate on the basis of headline news. So please do me a favor, read our constitution, what it says, because we live by that constitutional framework. So Action SA will absolutely go for an elective conference when we have enough structures. The numbers are put there. So that's why we work hard to ensure that that happens. But obviously, because South Africa has got such short election cycles, so you go through election and then immediately thereafter, because we are saying we cannot have, we must have elections 9 months after. 9 months after the election. However, this is the threshold that we need to achieve, and we've been open. Our members who signed up every single day, they signed up knowing very well that guys, let's make sure that we meet this threshold. But right now, the focus of Action SA is on fighting elections.
If DA did not nominate Zille to be the mayor, I'm sorry, we're going to come back to Zille all the time. I know that it seems like you don't like this subject of Zille. Would we have put your name forward as a Action SA? Was it because you really wanted to contest Zille? Because you took a little bit of time to really even put your name forward.
But we never hid it. We've always said we are still doing our exercise. It had absolutely nothing to do with DA or any other party. It had to do with our own internal structures. You see, people sometimes tend to think that our lives are determined by other people. I was really very lucky. I had a grandfather who I don't believe has been to even sub-A, but he had such wisdom and instilled in me from the day I was born to ensure that I live my own dream, not someone else's dream. So my life is not dictated by other people. My life is dictated by my own circumstances and my own decisions. So when people say DA has announced, therefore Action SA must announce, this is what who says where in our constitution or in our documents we say in DA it's our yardstick. DA is not our yardstick or ANC. So we announce when it is time to make the announcement. So Helen had absolutely nothing to do with us forcing, not forcing, actually convincing me, to put it correctly, convincing me. There was internal pleas. There were civil society organizations and everyone. I can show you the prominent South Africans, in fact, even including senior members of the ANC, the older ones, saying, please, you're the only person that can turn this city around. Please, you still have the energy. Yeah, fortunate enough, I don't have age on my side, but I can tell you I've got a 22-year-old energy. I remember when I started business, even today, I still have that kind of energy. So I said, you know what, for my country, I'll do anything, because I've already taken the decision I'm not leaving this country.
Perfect. With the municipalities, how many are you
Are you
contesting?
At the moment, I think we've got about 51. And but they must still go through the process of qualification. The likelihood of dropping significantly are very high because we want to contest municipalities where it will be difficult for anyone to govern without us. So if the numbers don't really add up, that it's a question of getting 1-2 councillors, we're not going to waste our time. Because one thing that you must understand, and I've learned with politics quickly because I was thrown into the deep end, I've learned it's a difficult situation to get deployees who are in politics for the right reasons. It's very difficult, so you'll always get the disappointment. People talk one thing and go and do something different. So approaching politics, I think if you take a short-term view, you'll make terrible mistakes because you're going to end up with wrong people. And I think our party, I've learned, when we launched Action SA, all of a sudden, I discovered some of the people recommended, and I said, God, guys, why did you recommend such a character to me? So I'm saying it's unfortunately, so you've got to be very careful. So our view right now as a political party is that, guys, let's not take a short-term, quick view because there's no solution like that.
Yeah. All right.
We are going to contest, I don't know, if it'll be between 40 and 50 municipalities.
Just
I
going
think
back
so.
to
Right now we've got 51, and some of them I don't really believe they will pass our KPIs.
If I go back to the previous question, after 5 years of really building this party, and so how many members do you have now? Because I know you said you are still building structures on the ground, but just a ballpark, what are we talking about if you're talking about Action SA membership?
This is an internal matter to which it's one of our trade secrets in business. But I can tell you,
the trade secret. How many members you have?
I can tell you. I can tell you something that is obvious. Just to really tell you, in the city of Johannesburg, with 135 wards. I can tell you right now, we're the only political party in this country with 85 branches already launched. 85.
In Johannesburg.
In Johannesburg alone.
85.
85 branches
and
launched.
Each branch has how many members to be a branch?
Branch. When we start, and if you look at in our constitution, we said to form a branch, you have to have 50
people.
And to correct to form for branch to elect, you've got to have a minimum of 26 people. But then we send because our membership is no longer free. You pay 10 rands or 20 rands if you want it for 2 years. I can tell you, in the city of Johannesburg, there's not a single branch with less than 200. I've got branches.
People.
Yeah, I've got branches here in Johannesburg with over 800 members.
Wow. Okay, you guys will calculate a branch with 800
with
members.
800 members.
Wow.
That's
not a branch, it's a province. Okay, Juanita?
Mr. Mashaba, you are fashioning yourself a little bit like the Donald Trump of South African politics.
I used to say, if I hear AI, one will lose it. But Monday.com is super easy to use and knows.
Why?
Why? In fact, I must ask you that question yourself. What has Donald Trump has got to do with me? I don't know the man except what I read in the papers and watch on television. Or how can I say? I mean, honestly, I don't know what you're talking about, that I'm positioning myself like Donald Trump. Honestly, or you can help me out because honestly, I don't know what you're talking about. Genuinely.
My initial question was around, what do you think of the man?
What I think of the man, I think it's a very divisive. The man, he's really caused problems for the world. That's a little I know of a man. The first time around when he came into power, I remember I was still in business then, and I used to be in the States a lot. And some of my best friends, coming from business. I know a lot of Republicans. I remember at the time coming back from the US, and I'll tell people, it looks like this man is going to win. And people said no. And he made it, obviously talking to the Americans. And at the time, I thought it was the best thing to happen to America, because United States were really pursuing very socialistic kind of programs with the Democrats. I was personally getting concerned the manner in which the Democrats were turning too much into a social, wanting to make America a socialist state. So I thought Donald will bring a new, fresh chapter in the history of the United States. Unfortunately, it's turned out to really be the very divisive person. That's my own interpretation. I might be wrong. I'm not an American voter, so I think Americans can tell you better than I do about Donald Trump. I've never analyzed Donald Trump. The little I know of him, it's actually very dangerous, because it's just listening to the news and reading this or talking to people. So I don't think I'm qualified can give an analysis of who Donald Trump is. I watched during COVID on Netflix. I watched his, what do you call it on Netflix?
Like a documentary?
Yeah, this documentary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not very complex, man. You know, that's it. COVID helped me to spend time to really go through. It's a very complex man.
So the context of the question is around why making the issue of immigrant central to your politics. But I want to take it a little bit further, if you'd like, JJ. March and March is a vigilante group.
I take serious exception to this, honestly. To call them a vigilante group, it's an insult to fellow. It's an insult to fellow South Africans who are suffering from these criminals who are in our country, to call March and March a vigilante group. Honestly, I personally take serious exception to it.
Do you think it's legal for an ordinary South African to go and raid buildings?
Is it? It's not right, but is it right for the South African government to allow criminal elements to base themselves here in South Africa?
Absolutely
make South Africa?
Not.
So then why, when South Africans raise an issue about illegal immigration, you want to call them vigilante? Honestly, I've been in marches. I've been personally to big marches with March and March, and I've engaged with them. And to call them a vigilante group in front of me, I'll take serious exception to it. I'll never accept it. I think it's an insult to our people who are victims of this illegality.
So you will take responsibility for the violence, if there's any deaths, if there's any destruction to property that happens in the name of March and March, in the name of the people that support it, because you've obviously punted their message.
Okay. Why is the South African government not taking the responsibility for allowing criminal elements to make South Africa their headquarters? Is the South African government not the one to take responsibility for this? Why do you want to leave South African government out of the situation that they created? South Africans are responding to something. I told you earlier on, in 1976. So do you think our people died in the youth died in 1976 because they wanted the apartheid government to kill them? In 1960, 21st of March, when our people were saying we've had enough of Dom passes, and they got shot and murdered and massacred, must we take the responsibility for that? Must Robert Subuka take the responsibility for it? Must Tsietsi Mashinini take responsibility for those deaths? Because that's exactly what you are saying. It's a South African government that must be held accountable for allowing criminal elements to position South Africa to be the headquarters.
Do you agree with the message where he says that citizens should not ask people on the streets to produce documents.
Absolutely agree 200% with the president. Unfortunately, he's the wrong person to tell us about the rule of law. I think Cyril Ramaphosa, President Cyril Ramaphosa is the last person to tell South Africans about respect for the law.
Are you cross-referencing the impeachment? Which
Not the Parliament.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot understand when you can have a president who is a multi-billionaire going to an extent of stashing money in sofas and mattresses, and then you tell South Africans and you bring foreign currency illegally.
Would you advise
No, listen to me. You have a president who brings money into the country illegally. You have a president who hires illegal, undocumented foreign nationals. You have a president, when there's a case, he doesn't report it to the police. It's like you as a father, JJ. Every day your kids see you beating their mother, but when they fight, you ask them not to
fight. Yeah.
So the president, that position of a president carries a lot of weight.
You are disappointed in how he has run his presidency?
It's been a total disaster. We never thought we'll have a worse president than Jacob Zuma. I went into politics because of Jacob Zuma. I never thought we'll get a worse president. I think if you look at Jacob Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa, I mean, it's like Jacob Zuma is a saint.
Look at the NC. The NC seems to listen to you. I mean, if I looked at that saga of the budget, etc., right, in Parliament, and then in Tshwane, you're working with them and so on. Would you advise them to really ask Ramaphosa to resign? Or, right, as the DA was saying, would you allow the process to unfold where he comes and accounts to Parliament through this impeachment thing and so on? Would it not be good for governance, etc., if you were to just fall on his sword right now?
You know, JJ, I've engaged the ANC pre-1994 as a black businessman. You know, we the ones in the country at the time. There was no white monopoly capital that would assist people in our communities when people were looking for lawyers and so forth. They relied on us as black business.
Yes.
So our engagement with the ANC didn't start now as fashionable and corrupt them. We never corrupted them. And when they started going astray, we engaged them, because most of them, of the older ones, are people I grew up with. I know them.
Yes.
I can tell you, the more you engage ANC to do the right thing, even up to today, the worse they get. I don't know. I find it difficult to. And when you talk to them, they will sit and says, no, we'll go and talk to our comrades, and they disappear. I honestly don't know. Even up to today, try and engage the ANC to do the right thing. You know, they want to do the opposite.
But as a party leader, do you have access to the president? Can he take your call to say, Chief, don't do what you're doing?
I've never tried.
You've never tried to talk to the president since 5 years?
No,
since you've been
even before. I've never.
You don't think he'll take your call?
I don't need to call him at the moment. I don't have anything. You see.
If you're mayor of you have to call him, because you'll be in his presidential council.
but you call someone when there's a need and there's a chance of success. If you, I'm not just prepared to do something because JJ says I must do it. No, I don't operate like that.
Hi, my name is Colin Abrams. I've been trading the markets. I want to ask you, do you know that 90% of traders lose?
Mike.
I mean, as we we're now into the run-in for the local government elections, and I think it's so important that people that pitch up to vote make informed decisions. And you sketched a catch-22 situation of you're not going to tell beforehand who you would coalesce with. We'll only tell you after you vote. So in other words, I can't make that decision until after the election, which of course is a bit useless because I can't re-vote if I don't like the decision that you make. So, surely places like this should be where we try and get some kind of guidance. Now, you said that you got some preconditions for the parties that you coalesce with. Are those new preconditions or are they existing preconditions?
The three
conditions.
They are the conditions informed by our experience.
Yeah, but I'm saying
of trying to negotiate a coalition before knowing the results.
Yeah,
because ultimately the voters are the ones who decide.
Yeah, but what I want to know is those preconditions, do they exist now, or are they only going to be implemented after the 2026 local government election?
No, they will only be Mike, if you were listening to me, I said we will only talk to political parties if the numbers make sense for us to form a government.
Get it.
Okay. And what we are saying to anyone who wants to talk to us, these are the conditions to apply then. There is no point to apply now because what percentage am I going to get? I can't already preempt that I'm going to be in government. What happens if Action SA doesn't get any vote?
Yeah, okay.
And I've already wasted my time, come out with meeting after meeting. So let me have a meeting when I have the
whether those conditions are they new conditions or if you used them before to form coalitions you are in now.
Action SA, it's a 5.5-year-old party. Went through 2 election cycles. Yeah. The first one in 2021, the first one in 2024. Okay. So now, with our learnings of these two dynamics, that is why we've now taken a posture as Action SA that no negotiations with anyone until such time that we have the results here with the real numbers confirmed by IEC.
I get that. But what I'm talking about is certainly 2 of your preconditions. One of them, let's talk about illegal migrants, because it's a hot topic at the moment.
No, I think, can I just correct something? Kanita, you mentioned that we're using illegal immigration as a central theme. Yeah. Tell me, 1st of December 2016, I was only 100 days in office. I still had 5 years. That's when the issue freed South Africans from addressing the issue of illegal immigration. Before that, you raise it, people had to go and apologize for what I didn't know. And I took a decision, I refused. ANC reported me to the IEC. Fortunate enough, what I'm articulating to you right now, fortunate enough, it's covered in our Electoral Act and our Constitution. What I'm saying here is within the law. ANC thought they will get me through that. That press conference I had with the IEC, with the Africa diaspora or whatever, and 3 months after doing that, intense of following up every statement that I made, that everything that I said was within the law. But it was 100 days after the election. Was I looking for votes? I was only 100 days in office. And throughout the 3 years I was a mayor, it was an issue that I was facing as a mayor of the city of Johannesburg, and I was addressing. So I don't think we mustn't obviously, I think, just really see things the way we want to see them. I think I'm just giving you so that you have the context. 100 days into office, I wasn't looking for votes. I was already a mayor.
Okay.
And throughout that period, before evil forces planned my motion of no confidence, I was raising the issue of illegal immigration. I wasn't looking for votes. I was dealing with a serious matter of criminals in our country, causing havoc.
Okay, Mike?
No, I'm just trying to help people make informed decisions because you are going to be looking for votes in November. You said that you wouldn't be in coalitions with parties that will allow illegal migration. But yet you are currently in coalition with the one party that wants to tear down the borders and the other party that's has facilitated the problem that we've got in the ANC and the EFF. So number one, that's why I ask, are those preconditions from before, or are they only going to kick in after the election, in which case voters will know who you won't coalesce with? On the other issue, you said you won't be in coalition with any party that's corrupt. But yet the deputy mayor of the city of Tshwane, Eugene Modise, has a unbelievable track record. But yet you're in coalition. So will this only kick in after?
And then, okay, give her the DA side as well.
I'm asking you because you're in a current coalition. I'm not here to talk about.
You're supposed to be a neutral person.
I am a neutral person.
So talk from a neutral position, an independent person. Okay, that's great. I'm listening. I'm going to respond to those. Now, to give the side of the DA.
I don't want to give a side because you're not in coalition with the DA. I'm not a spokesman for the DA.
I was in coalition with them, and you know. So.
Yes. And you broke that you moved out of that coalition, and that's your decision. That's fine. I'm looking forward because we can't go back to 2016 or even to 2023.
Go to Tshwane. Do you follow developments in Tshwane? You see
Closely.
The Tshwane Metro Police every day how they arrest illegal foreigners.
Yeah, and also see Gareth Nisi all over the Madlanga Commission. I'm just saying that...
What I'm saying is, do you see the city of Tshwane arresting illegal foreigners? Mayor Moya, a few weeks ago in one of the press conferences, one of her biggest frustrations, they arrested these illegal foreigners. 3 days later, they're back in the streets when the city does not have the authority. She does herself on a daily basis, including breaking down structures built by illegal foreigners in our country illegally. And the issue of Modise, which is a misinformation, something that happened predates Asipi Moya. It's a thing that a DA, it's a specialist in misinformation and propaganda.
So in other words, your preconditions don't really account then because you're going to explain away the contraventions to your preconditions.
Tell me, Modise, has he been found guilty? Must we operate on the basis of a DA inherited issue? Now, all of a sudden, it becomes an issue. We investigate. The mayor can't really find any substantive reasons for her to take action. Must we act on the basis of DA? Who on earth do they think they are, that they're going to collapse our government for coming out with misinformation, lying to people on a daily basis?
I think
because you're relying on DA misinformation and propaganda.
No, I'm relying
something
on
that they
legal
themselves awarded that contract.
I'm relying on legal action, and I'm saying that when the DA candidate is sitting in this seat, then we ask them DA questions. I'm asking Action SA questions. You're the one that explained the preconditions. I'm saying there is an inconsistency with your preconditions.
Well, that's fine. I'm happy to live with that inconsistency. If you interpret it that way.
Well, for out of time.
Because obviously everyone has got his own view. So I respect your own judgment, but ultimately it's your judgment, only in your head, not anywhere else.
Prof, parting short, in your assessment, any gaps that Herman, as he goes into the election campaign, he should be looking at?
I think I was impressed with your transparency or honesty when you released your proposed team, the MMCs. It's good so that people, they know when they vote for Action SA, they know who's going to the MC for this one. But that may not be a disadvantage as well in terms of backfiring, that there are people who might say, I would have loved to vote for Action SA, but that person who's an MC for this portfolio, I'm not going to vote for Action SA anymore.
I think, one thing that we must accept in life, there's nothing really perfect. My approach to this is because South Africans have lost, there's a trust deficit, very, very serious trust deficit with society, where they've been banned many times before. They elect me as a mayor and afterwards surround myself with crooks. To give an example, with some of the people in cabinet today, people have laid criminal charges against in open. They are ministers today. So that's why I'm trying something new. A new culture. I can only try, to really be transparent, to say, I did not really put these guys because they are my friends. And the reason why, in fact, yesterday I had a 2-hour productive meeting with them, where because I've given them an exercise, each one of them, all 10 of them, to really go into each department, so that in the event we get the mandate to be government, then we can hit the ground running immediately. Unlike if I decide, then so let me be transparent with the community. And if obviously people have got problems with someone, it gives me an opportunity to get rid of that person in advance. Okay. Because let me also give you an example. Look at what happened to me. What got me to make this decision. When I took over as a mayor, the level of corruption coming onto my desk was just overwhelming. That's when I decided to form that unit of group forensic.
You regret bringing CBR?
No, listen.
Yeah.
No, listen. So what happened? I then decided through council to form a group forensic to assist me independently to deal with these cases, because I don't have I've got to run the city, you know. And obviously, then I took the report to council for the formation of that unit, because the city did not really have. Then from there, the city manager then advertises, and then they end up giving me CBR. And I was happy. First day when it started, I called the press conference, called the entire press with all the files. That material is that you say, the reason I had to form, and this is the man that the city recommended to me. Now, out of this learning, I'm saying to myself, I think I need to use a different tactic this time, so that I don't want when that people elect me, and within a few days I must elect or appoint MMCs, and appoint wrong people who must still learn. Let them start learning now. And so that if there are issues, to come out now. The very same thing with group forensic. That unit, it's a unit I'm promising people of Johannesburg that it's not my appointment, it's an appointment done by the city manager through council. So my report this time is going to be the city manager. Please, when you run your panel, you run the interviews of the person who's going to head that unit. I want the interviews to be done in public. So that if they say
your MMCs don't win, they can still also be shadow MMCs, which means they must still do that work
absolutely
on the same portfolio.
And I can tell you they're doing a great job. Everyone had to present already. So, and some of them are non-politicians, but already, because we guide them. I've got researchers and so forth working with them to assist them. So by the time when I get the mandate to be the mayor, I'll be the only mayor in this country already ready to really govern overnight.
All right. So, Dr. Mkabela?
Mr. Mashaba, of the many issues you have raised today, I mean, many of which are very interesting, but there's one that I find more fascinating. Your remark that not everyone who joins politics does so for the right reasons. And you appear to be very disappointed about some of your experiences of people who joined Action SA for what you believe are wrong reasons. I mean, I know, for example, reading from a lot of literature of the ANC since I've been covering politics, the ANC repeatedly complains about how people join the party so that they can accumulate material benefits. They're not there to serve the people. And it appears that you have experienced something similar. Now, I want to discuss this. I mean, I wish we can discuss it more broadly. What is it that you think the country needs to do to attract the right kind of people who can serve in politics and can serve the public diligently and honestly, and are not there for other purposes other than that? I mean, I think that for me would be very interesting. I wish there can be a bigger discussion about that among
I think it's simple, Dr. Mkabela. I think, for me, for as long as we've got a dysfunctional criminal justice system, it's going to be impossible, not even difficult. I mean, if you look at the 3 years as a mayor, I had 35 billion rands worth of fraud and corruption cases, over 6,000. Some of the people are serving today in our national government who are involved. unfortunately,
Who
up
involved
to,
in Johannesburg?
some of them I went to go and lay criminal charges against them because the cases were so clear as daylight. So for as long as
nothing,
there are...
But nothing has happened to them.
That's what I'm saying. For as long as our criminal justice system is captured, it's run by criminals, we've got a challenge. It's because there will never really be consequences. I've personally laid criminal charges of a very serious nature involving a lot of money, billions of the city of Johannesburg, even up to today.
Who are the people
I'm sure,
in national government you laid charges against? Like who?
I think go into your records.
So you don't want to name and shame them now?
No, I think go into your records, look at people I went to lay criminal charges against you because the media covered those events then. So I'm saying is, let me just address this matter.
Yeah.
And for this country to really attract the right type of political skills and commitment, we need an environment where we have an effective, functional, independent criminal justice system. For as long as that does not exist, I can tell you it's going to be difficult because I'll be the mayor and arrest or lay charges against you for having stolen the money because you are politically connected or you're part of the criminal
you get
system.
away with it, yeah.
You get away with it. You go and kill witnesses and knowing that you're going to get away with it. So I think that's a challenge that South Africa is facing right now. So we'll need to remove the NCNDA from government and put in a government that's actually serious at national level to ensure that we can have an independent criminal justice system.
Juanita?
You write the words. What if you could hear them as a song? Go to suno.com, switch to custom mode, and paste in your lyric.
Mr. Mashaba, you need about 1 million voters of Joburg to vote for you. The issue Johannesburg has is would you mobilize people who've tapped out? Because Joburg has what New York had before, where it's an issue of people not showing up to vote. So how are you going to enthuse voters when your campaign so far has been boxing Zilla? What are you going to do to get people to vote?
It's unfortunate, Juanita, to say my focus has always been Zilla. I don't know, you and I, we live in totally different worlds. I said to you, when I leave here, I'm going to be somewhere else. Did you see where I was 2 days ago? And did you see where I was on Tuesday? Did you see where I was yesterday? Where I'm going to more that today? Yes, because obviously those issues are not of interest to the media. The media is only interested in Helen Zille swimming in potholes. So yes, and I'm on the ground. I don't get paid for it, but I enjoy it. I get just to give you an example. I was sharing this Tuesday, the 19 in between Dlamini. Spent 2.5 hours or so, and I had a very successful public meeting. The visuals are there. The media that care, it does local media, the mainstream media, no. They want to go to potholes with Helen Zille swimming. So one of my guys, because one of the things that we do as a political party, we help discourage the voters to vote with the IEC. Just one of the number, I always travel and I have activists where we give them data to register people. One of my guys who travels with me registered on that day 30 people within less than 3 hours. Just one of, I don't know how many people were, our activists were there. The one that I was with travels with me, registered with the IEC, not as, they didn't get a chance to register them as members of Action SA. We left that to our candidate, but with the IEC, he registered 30 people with evidence because it takes shots of them.
All right, Mike.
But obviously, you guys as a media, you won't see it because our events are not juicy. You're not going to see me swimming in potholes. No.
Mike, you got the last word briefly, please.
We might all be swimming in potholes depending on the outcome of the election. Herman, I've got to say that, and I've said it to you before, Action SA has made a dramatic impact in Parliament, and full credit must go to your party and your members of Parliament. The question I want to ask is, you've had a great performance in Parliament where you have punched way above your weight, and full credit must go to Action SA there for waking up some of these other sleepy parties. Well, I don't even know if they've woken up, but you've done a great job. You've also got the mayorship of City of Tshwane, which you've now held for a few years. The question that I'm asking is quite simply, do you see Action SA doing better in the areas that they're going to contest than the last time? I'm talking about the areas that you contested in 21 versus 26. Do you see an improved performance out of Action SA compared to 2021 or not?
Mike, let me be honest with you. Based on our own analysis that I can't share with you, next year, this time, I'll be the mayor of the city of Johannesburg. Nasipi is going to be the mayor of the city of Tshwane. Xolani Khumalo is going to be the mayor of the city of Ekurhuleni.
Sure.
Unless something drastic happens. I'm totally convinced that Action SA is going to lead with majority or with a coalition. Action SA is going to lead.
This municipality.
So I'm convinced, and it scares the hell out of me, that next year this time my family is going to miss me, because the way things are shaping up, I'm going to be the mayor of the city of Johannesburg.
That's the point to leave it at. Thank you, man and lady, for your participation. Herman, thank you, Alice, for the campaign. We hope